It's no secret that I like to keep my photography simple. It's just a way of life and how I approach the process. I dislike having a big bag of gear, and I prefer small setups that usually combine two compact primes for either a full frame or APS-C body. Today's mirrorless market offers a lot of compact cameras that can accompany their users without being too much of a burden. That's why I love my A7C. It's a full-frame camera with great AF, and still it's so compact that it fits all my small slings and backpacks. Having a compact mirrorless body is also an obvious reason to own equally compact lens, isn't it? I think there's still not enough compact primes available. Well, yeah, there is the G series of 24, 40 and 50 2.5s. They are also ugly as hell and make the A7C series look kinda awkward, totally uninspiring. Fortunately, there are good third-party companies that have been on the market for some time now, and they can offer us photographers a nice compromise between price and quality. I've been a fan of Viltrox since their APS-C lenses. Imagine my joy when, back in the day, Viltrox went full frame. That's when I started looking closer at their workshop, and to my surprise, they just launched the Compact Air series, 40mm 2.5 lens for a fraction of Sony's price. So this lens is a fine example of how the modern primes should look like: simple, small and lightweight. Of course, the build quality is very important, but in this case, I guess you cannot complain too much. The lens is plastic, but with a metal mount, and it feels quite sturdy. The barrel reminds me of Sony's nifty-fifty, but it's slimmer and fits my A7C much better. The focusing ring is smooth and works well while manual focusing. Although I received this lens from Viltrox, I'm not going just to praise this lens, because it does have some flaws, and it's important to talk about them. First of all, this lens suffers from rather slow AFS focusing. It's better to switch to AFC mode if you want the quieter and faster AF performance. But at the same time, I noticed a small lag when pressing the shutter button before the actual shutter is released. Strange, and it doesn't happen with my Sony lenses. Surprisingly, it does not happen when you use the AFS mode. Hopefully Viltrox will fix this in the future with firmware updates. The USB-C port built into the lens will make it happen, right Viltrox? While I wouldn't use this lens for faster scenes, it handles most well-lit situations nicely and is pretty accurate. It does, however, hunt in low-light scenes. My second con is the minimum focusing distance. I really wish it could focus closer. And the third is, well, the 2.5 aperture. I think this lens could be like an f2 lens, like the native Nikon 40mm f2. Also, there could be at least a rubber gasket on the mount side. That would make me feel more comfortable with this lens. But aside from the cons, this lens is pretty much a very important glass on the market right now. It's a fine example that you can make a nice, cheap and optically proper lens for full frame that doesn't break your wallet. Because this lens is very good optically. I think it's a better choice instead of Sony's nifty-fifty. Definitely better looking and with its own character. What I like about Viltrox is that their lenses have a distinct way of rendering, which is definitely not boring. This way it's nice for everyday photography, street, landscapes and portraits. A decent lens for a bargain price that is a little wider than the usual 50, thus making it more universal, but not too wide for portraits. In my case, it's a street and portrait lens that I now actually love to put on my A7C, which is now, thanks to Viltrox, the true poor man's Leica.